Ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna be bad.
Lower your expectations, man.
At the start of the season, every YouTuber you've ever heard of and all the ones you haven't came together to analyse what we thought would happen across the year and what the table would look like come the end of it. And I'm gonna be reacting to my own Premier League predictions from the start of the campaign. Alright, now, if you're going to enjoy this video, feel free to slap a like on it. Subscribe if you're new. Honestly, the thumbnail, I got Newcastle correct. So we're gonna wrap up the like and subscribe. Okay, now bear in mind, this was uploaded on the 26th of July, so that's about like a solid 2, maybe even 3 weeks before the season starts. So there was probably some signings that hadn't happened here, so just, yeah, I'm making excuses, let's go. Are you looking for a new football? No, this video isn't sponsored, no. On my life, the most proud I was about anything in this video was the fact that I managed to find an emoji that said the date I was recording it on, I can't lie. Right, so who did I think was gonna finish bottom? Yeah, I've already had it. The thing is, though, I think a lot of people expected Bournemouth to go down bottom. I mean, they even put a video out, they put a tweet out of everyone's predictions, you know, saying they were going to get relegated. Even when I look back, the signings they made were not that crazy. Like Senesi, Tavernier ended up being really good. Solanke obviously stepped up, and the likes of Billing as well. And of course, they signed Neto. To be honest with you, I don't feel that terrible that I predicted them here. Right, okay, so at this point, they hadn't even signed Senesi. And they did sign Tavernier this season, innit? It's one of those ones where promoted teams tend to do their business quite late. Let's go with this. Oh, Fulham. Oh no. Thing is with Fulham, right, I just had no expectations of Alexander Mitrovic because he has been promoted with Fulham like twice now before this season and done nothing. It was always going to be a bit different this time around. Obviously, he broke the championship goal scoring record the season before. João Paulinho is a solid DM. See, I recognize Paulinho coming in, but they did make a lot more signings after this. Either way, bit poor. Niran's MacBook Pro, now is not the time. Okay, see that? Okay, that's interesting. So I was talking about five-way. Okay, that's no. Let me I suggest. I talked about it being like a five-way battle for the relegation battle. To be honest, all but one team I've managed to pretty much bang on there. But interesting to see that all the teams that I thought would be in a relegation battle, barring Brentford, actually ended up here. 18th place, I am putting Everton.
Bang, see you later, you go in prison.
Oh, I had the chance to be right. The one time I don't back Southampton to go down. The thing is, I was right at least with the relegation scrap because it was an absolute WWE SmackDown Raw free-for-all till the death. It was mental. There seemed to just be like 6 or 7 really equal teams. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's gonna just go fashion shoot. To be fair, I predicted that.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
All right, Nottingham Forest not going down. I did get that. I didn't get the position right. I think they finished 16th in the end. But I did just I had a weird feeling, you know, their home ground is a bit of a fortress. Taiwo Awoniyi, ex of Liverpool, made a good name for himself over in the Bundesliga. Ball knowledge. Young fullbacks, Nico Williams and Omar Richards. Ball knowledge. Biancone and Niakate. Biancone did nothing, but there's still some knowledge. Oh, lads, I'm fuming. The one time I do not predict Southampton to go down, and they actually went down. I always get the prediction right if you took it back 2 years ago. Now, hear me out on that now. Listen, Nathan Jones honestly might as well have just not turned up for work half the time. Just chilled in his car, gone off and spoken to Welsh women.
I could have stayed in the mining community and be a PE teacher and had a nice life. Married a nice Welsh girl.
Arnel Bella Kotchap is a great pickup from somewhere in Germany, but they definitely need to get an actual goal scorer up top to partner Shay Adams. Yeah, see, I mentioned the lack of goals and stuff there, and that ended up really being a massive problem. If they'd signed that Alcaraz at the start of the season, they might have had a chance because he looked all right at times. Leeds I went for in 15th. Yeah, obviously Phillips and Rafinha going at the start of the season was massive. They weren't properly replaced. Adams ended up being pretty decent. This isn't a shocking prediction because, again, I still predicted them to be in the relegation battle. I just didn't. That's a great pause, by the way. Tyler Adams is a great little DM. And I love Sinistera, I think it is. I feel like the signings that I mentioned should have really had a better impact. Obviously, Adams was great, but Sinistera was injured for like 80% of the season. So part of the reason why I put them so high is because they actually had some depth this time. Because last season, they were playing Dons who hadn't even picked their GCSEs yet. Oh, this isn't good either. And I said these lot would be in the relegation battle too. I think I was going for second season syndrome with them, but if anything, they've pushed on massively. Obviously, 14th place in real life for West Ham. I'm concerned about where I put them. Gulls fans are probably going to be a little bit disappointed in me here, but I've gone for Brighton. I might have to start making like tennis videos or something. Brighton P13. Now, again, in fairness, I feel like at the start of the season, a lot of people would have predicted this. No one expected them to get into Europe. No, Mitoma season underscore XX30. We don't care. You didn't predict it. Even the scouts that knew who Mitoma was at the start of the season didn't predict that. Graham Potter is a great manager. Graham Potter, I mentioned Graham Potter being good. That's probably the worst thing out of all of this. That's actually so interesting. At the time, I thought Brighton had gone backwards in terms of their personnel. And I get why I thought that, innit? Because they sold Basuma, they sold Cucurella. But in the end, they replaced them with better dons. Caicedo, sick. Mitoma, nuts. Evan Ferguson was still 12 at the time this video came out. Wolves, P12. Calm. You know what? I don't mind that. I've not got a single one right yet, you know. In 11th place now, we got Crystal Palace. Oh my God, 11th Crystal Palace. I've got one right. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, it's like the hardest one to predict as well. They sacked Patrick Vieira whilst they were in a relegation battle, then brought in Roy Hodgson. I thought he was 94, but in the end did the business for Palace and they survived comfortably. Aston Villa P10, not shocking. Obviously finished 7th, got themselves Conference League football. I know it's an if and but, right, but if you don't see the unpredictable capitulation of Chelsea and Spurs, Villa don't get into the Conference League after the start of the season they had. But fair play to them, man. Unai Emery's got them playing unbelievably.
Good evening.
I feel like not getting into Europe with the amount of spending they've done would be a bit of a disappointment. Okay, that's an interesting statement there. If they don't get into Europe, they'll be disappointed. So I clearly had some aspirations that they could do it, and they did, which is great. And then I mentioned Coutinho, who was shit. Actually, man, watching this video back, I realised how many flop transfers there actually were this year. 9th, and we've got Leicester. I knew this one was coming because I remember predicting Leicester to finish in the top half. I distinctly remember that. I don't know if they'd sold Kasper Schmeichel at this point. I'm going to say that they hadn't, but even if they had, I would have expected them to go out and replace him. And I know, look, Danny Ward's not the only reason they got relegated. They didn't improve defensively. Wout Faes was shocking. People like Soumare were poor. Even established regulars like Ndidi were terrible. If I genuinely predicted this after deadline day, it would have been a lot different. I honestly wholeheartedly think I would have probably swapped Leicester and Brighton around. Obviously, they finished 18th, 2 points off safety, and are relegated to the Championship. They've not signed anybody at all. Yeah, nah, they didn't sign anyone before I made this video. Technical director hadn't clocked into work. The scouts were chilling in Barbados, and Jamie Vardy provided the 15 goals that he needs to again this season. No. So they still had Fofana when I made this video. I think I understand a bit more why I had them 9th, because they still had Schmeichel, they still had Fofana. Selling those two individuals completely relegated them. Getting rid of Kasper Schmeichel, your leader and easily your best goalkeeper, not replacing him, then selling Fofana and replacing him with David Luiz, but he's into waffles, was a crazy maneuver. I can't believe they did that. Okay, 8th place for Newcastle. Not shocking, to be honest. Again, they hadn't signed people like Gordon at this stage. Not that he did anything. Why did I? Yeah, I think I went a little bit conservative with Newcastle because I was kind of following the route that Manchester City took, scraping towards Europe and then like fully getting into it the second season. But yeah, in the end, they went crazy. West Ham United. Oh, no. West Ham 7th. I feel like I paid too much attention to the table because if you look at how West Ham actually performed in the second half of last season, they were shocking. They could have easily got themselves into the Europa League if they'd won more than like 2 games in 2022. And I should have seen that poor run of form continuing. They seem as if they are really close to signing Gianluca Scamacca. God, Scamacca was shit anyway. Why did I even mention him? But you know what it is, right? They got obviously to the Conference League final. Yeah, if you finish 7th in the league, you get Conference League. I was just predicting them to win the whole thing. Don't worry. Right, top 6. Here we go. This was a hard prediction, to be fair, because there was a lot of teams that could have got into Champions League. The mighty Gunners, Arsenal. I think this is the safest bet. This is the safest bet, he says. Nearing of the past, never make a Ladbrokes account. Oh, it stinks. They ended the last season well. They had an unbelievable transfer window. They slapped it in pre-season. What were you doing? I remember thinking at the time, right, like a week after I made this video, I think they beat Chelsea 4-0 in a friendly, and I remember thinking, Niran, why didn't you make this video a week later? And I would have put Arsenal 4th. Again, I still wouldn't have got it right, but I would have at least put them in the Champions League places. Gunners fans, I'll never doubt you again. I will, because you bottled the Premier League, actually. I think they've had a decent window. Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus. Obviously, didn't actually mention Saliba. The thing is, I was not wrong here. On paper, there are better teams than Arsenal. Like, if you look at that Arsenal squad, right? Of course, there's some good players now, but Saliba was not rated at this point, like, that much. So I don't think there'll be quite as many, like, banterous moments. Okay, I mean, at least got the lack of banterous moments right, but Tottenham being above Arsenal is crazy. I'd argue they've had one of the best transfer windows of anybody in the league. Bissouma, Perisic, who's a serious Conte signing, Jed Spence and Richarlison. I said that all of those signings were good, and they were all shit. At the end of the day, it felt like depth. You had Kulusevski, Son, and Kane, who slapped it the season before. So in my mind, I was like, right, cool. Those three will continue to be amazing, as they always are. And then Richarlison just comes in to add even more competition. Got a whole year of Conte as well, not just 7 months. Yeah, about the whole year of Conte. Okay, Manchester United in P4 as a prediction. It's actually a pretty decent prediction. Obviously, they finished third. Could have quite easily been fourth. United fans, I want to ask you how you think your year's gone. Completely fell away in the league, lost the FA Cup final, out of the Europa League, but quite clear progress. Now, I said I wasn't going to take pre-season into account too much, and I'm not necessarily. Results, I don't care about. But if you can show that you're playing vastly differently to you did last year, then I think that should be taken into account a bit. I hear that, yeah. I mean, yeah, United played well in pre-season. They looked like a different team. Oh, God, I put Chelsea third. Oh, guys. Yo, it's been real. At least this isn't the season where I said that Chelsea were going to win the league, because I'm pretty sure that has happened. Chelsea in P3 was not my most knowledgeably economic prediction. Obviously, Enzo Fernandez and Mikhailo Mudryk, they only signed in the winter. So overall, this Chelsea side was well different. We hadn't even seen that video of Graham Potter in a tent before. Looking back now, I'm an idiot. But of course, you know, it's easy to say in retrospect. You look at that Chelsea squad as a whole, even the size of it, and it obviously should not be finishing 12th in the Premier League. This was the ultimate example of having the ability, but no planning at all. And that's what cost them. And what made me look like an idiot on YouTube, as opposed to on Bebo. I don't know what I was thinking with that one. Yeah, you know what I didn't take into account here is that Kai Havertz is Kai Havertz. Right, here we go. Okay, top 2, Liverpool second. All right, now, again, easy to predict that they would have finished second. Not easy to predict that they would have had the season that they had. Fabinho decided that his footballing abilities were going to be about as low as his scalp, and it just fell apart from there, really. There was no defensive protection. There was no defensive ability. Not passion! Van Dijk's highlights were not spectacular. Mo Salah did the Christmas tree thing again, and our chakras were just thrown off, basically. We have to just move forward now. And if I see Joe Gomez still playing for Liverpool next season, I'm gonna lose it. We're gonna miss Sadio. He's gonna slap it up at Bayern Munich. When I said that he was gonna slap it at Bayern Munich, I didn't mean literally. So no prizes for guessing, of course. It was Manchester City that I predicted to win the league. Erling Haaland. That is it. They're winning the league. People are saying that he's gonna flop, right? And it might happen by some miracle, right? But I can guarantee people are only saying that because he's come from the Bundesliga. That is one thing that I will say that's proved my undoubted ball knowledge this season. I saw so many people say, nah, Erling Haaland won't work. Nah, Man City can't work with a striker. Nah, it's a disgrace to the establishment.
Outrageous.
I did not care. That entire, like, if you watched Erling Haaland, right, with your 2 eyes, whether he was playing in the Bundesliga or the Champions League, you knew with any sort of service, let alone Kevin De Bruyne service, he was gonna bag about 40 goals this year. He still broke basically every record there is to break in the Champions League, and he's still, the type of goals he scores is set up beautifully for City. See, I'm doing well. Look at this. This is the best thing I predicted the whole video. On top of that, Calvin Phillips is a perfect DM. Okay, never will. And those were my Premier League predictions for the 22-23 season. A massive mixed bag. I only got 2 like bang on correct. That was Man City winning the league, and then Crystal Palace finishing 11th. Don't know how I did that. Obviously, the likes of Leicester Leicester, West Ham, Chelsea, Tottenham, massively out of position. Fulham at the start as well. Certain things this season just made no sense. The likes of Bournemouth really managing to stay up, especially before they made any signings, was just not predictable. So it was a crazy season. It just highlights how mad the Premier League has actually been for this campaign. What do you make of my predictions, and what were yours? Tell me one bold prediction you had at the start of the season that ended up actually coming to fruition. If you enjoyed this video though, feel free to slap a like on it, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @officialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.